Have you ever heard of the Stop Killing Games initiative? It was a petition, pretty much, for game companies to stop sunsetting their games. Meaning they completely drop it off the face of the earth for there to never be a player again. They did it with The Crew, they've done it with multiple other games, and somebody set up a petition and there's been millions of people coming together to sign it. But there has been one advocate for it to not happen, and that is Pirate Software. Now, from what I know about him, he fakes his voice, he uses a voice changer, which is weird, honestly, but he's been so pushing for, don't sign this petition, don't do this, don't do that, and you might be asking yourself, why would he do such a thing? Especially as he is a gamer. He develops games. He wants the right to sunset his own game. And that's what people have to realize. So let's get into this internet anarchist video. But before that, please hit that subscribe button. I would truly appreciate it.
Go down in history as one of the
I feel like he's only a week or two away from exclusively referring to himself in third person, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that's the truth, cause Pirate Software said so. Some like that. It's crazy.
He could have avoided this entire controversy with just 3 words: I was wrong. But his ego and arrogance got in the way of him admitting fault, turning him from a beloved and respected figure to one of the most hated personalities on the internet, all in a matter of days. Hi, I'm the internet.
Now, of course, go ahead and subscribe to this channel as I am already. But let me turn this light on, get it illuminated in here. Pirate Software has quite literally been against this from the beginning. And I remember watching that Penguin Zero documentary of him yapping as in the same format as I do. And being shocked at a gamer wanting this to be done. Wanting this petition to never see, fruition. And I was just asking myself, why? Why do you double down? Why do you keep going? Why are you so hungry for this to not happen? It's greed. Greed is the reason why he's money hungry. He's money hungry because, oh shoot, how can I continue to make money? How can I continue to profit off of these people? And I was just floored, actually. I was just floored. You just want to profit off of the people who are playing your games. You're going to do that anyway. But you want to cut off their right to continue playing their games? Okay, demon. Like what is going on, bud? You should not be doing that, especially to people who trust and believe in you.
Look at the deserved downfall of Pirate Software, his monumental fall from grace, and how, even after losing everything, he's continuing to make the situation worse for himself.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope that your initiative gets everything you...
That's a voice changer. Just wanted to point that out. And something else that I discovered about Pirate Software is that he has faked his world records. I think he faked his second world record, which is most Twitch hype train or whatever. Somebody bought it for him, I believe. At least there was a video, allegedly. Let's just throw that word out there.
Asked for, but nothing you wanted.
However, to fully grasp why the internet is so mad at Pirate Software, we have to understand what made him popular in the first place. Jason Hall, better known as Thor, originally started his career back in 2004 as a game developer for Blizzard, the company that made titles like World of Warcraft and Overwatch. After leaving his job at Blizzard, he worked at Amazon Studio for a while, before quitting from there as well and becoming a hacker for the US government.
So, After that, I ended up going to work for the United States Department of Energy because I'm a hacker, offensive security guy, and I hacked power plants for the federal government.
But after a year of doing his job, he resigned from there as well, and started working full-time on his indie game RPG named his studio Pirate Software, showcasing his game development process on Twitch. However, while Heartbound saw some success in its early days, even getting played by Jacksepticeye at one point, he was still relatively unknown on the internet. But then, in 2022, he made a small decision that would end up changing his life forever. On January 17th, 2022, Thor posted his first short video on YouTube titled Imposter Syndrome. It was a clip from one of his Twitch streams where he gave valuable advice to an inexperienced developer.
I don't wish to fail myself because I'm terrified of actually releasing something to the world I've worked on for over 3 years. Dear God, I am so terrified.
Hey, Thornstar, that feeling never goes away. It never does. I am constantly afraid to release every single piece of content I ever work on this game. I am constantly afraid to get onto stream and, like, not be, you know, whatever it is that people expect me to be. I am constantly afraid that I'm going to create content that no one wants to hang out with, that no one wants to look at, no one wants to care about. And that's just how that is. The thing is you can't stop. You shouldn't stop.
No BS, that was inspirational. I think the voice changer just carries that whole scene there. His voice and then giving the advice, his voice, putting in quotations, because he's using a voice changer, has to be. He's quite literally says his balls have dropped twice. He said it himself. I'm not just making things up here. That's inspirational. I see why people liked him. Especially as, I know he's a hacker. He's done work with the government. He makes games. Jacksepticeye's played it. He's probably talking about a new game he's creating. I can get why he has such a expansive audience.
They are delicious.
As a fan comment under one of his first YouTube streams states, Thor, wow, first I've heard of you was yesterday from the shorts. You were everything I've been looking for in terms of knowledgeable game dev, storyteller, and straight up kind human. Keep it up, badass. The popularity
Glaze? Unnecessarily? God.
of his content on YouTube also translated into his Twitch viewership, skyrocketing past any expectations he might have had. It reached a point where he broke the Twitch hype train record 4 different times, and gained over...
That is what I was talking about before. Yeah, he broke it. That was a lie. He had Discord chats with a person who bought it for him, and he said, I want the people to believe that they actually did it. Why be so fake about it? That's something you just never have to do. Botting your account, you don't believe in your content, you don't believe in your fans enough to just, let them do them. You tell them your goal and they can get it done, but you decided to take the easy way out. Very fake of you, Mr. Pirate Software.
80,000 paid subscribers on the platform. By 2024, Thor's career had reached an all-time high. Millions of fans eagerly consumed everything he released, and the vast majority held him in very high regard. As a thankful viewer puts it, this is the most motivating and helpful individual I've found in the game dev space. And that's saying quite a lot, as most devs are so helpful and encouraging. This man makes me feel like my dreams are within my grasp, and that's so rare to find. He was on track to become one of the legendary figures of online gaming, right alongside the likes of Jacksepticeye and Markiplier. But then, 2025 rolled around, and a single livestream nearly shattered the trust and support Thor had spent years building.
I didn't play well. Other people in the group didn't play well. They pinned it on me. That's it. There was one of the players that was very vocal about saying it was all my fault, and then the rest of the community rallied around it. And now it's become a content play for people to pick at me, and that's kind of it.
It all started on January 12th, 2025, when Thor decided to stream a hardcore World of Warcraft raid with other streamers and veteran players. At one point during the raid, the situation became dire, and instead of helping his teammates in any way, Thor decided to run away. This resulted in 2 other players' characters dying, which for those of you who aren't familiar with World of
That wasn't really gamer of him, bro. That wasn't really gamer. You have to go back. You die together. That is literally the first rule. If you are playing in a team, you guys decide. If 3 out of the 4 say fight, you being the last one who says no, you still have to go fight though. You still have to go fight, and you still have to go protect your team. It is your fault though. It is your fault. Why would you run away? Run back and go help. You led to their deaths. In game, of course, in World of Warcraft. Not real life. God. Back to the point. It is your fault. But this all started over World of Warcraft? Yikes.
Warcraft Hardcore, this means that those characters were now lost forever. The players would have to grind the game for weeks to get back to the same level again. But rather than admitting fault or even showing remorse, Thor decided to be arrogant about it and put all the blame on others.
Because you're angry right now. Of course I'm
Don't be angry.
You overpulled 2 packs. You overpulled 2 packs and a boss. I had 1,400 mana left. I had to spend all of that mana to try and put it on Blizzard to save you guys in the first place. And nothing left. You weren't paying attention to party resources, you overpulled, and you weren't paying attention to where the boss was. That's not on me.
This showed the egotistical side of Thor that, admittedly, was already present in his content.
It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to. That is awful. That is a horrible goddamn direction.
But his fans didn't pay much attention to it, since till this point, Thor was seen as a passionate, talented developer who genuinely cared about the gaming community, so his occasional cockiness was written off as confidence.
But if he genuinely cared about the community, if he genuinely had any care for the community, he would be kinder. Where's the humbleness? Oh, I have 2.5 million subscribers. I can be cocky. No. I can stop doing my research on certain petitions that actually would benefit the gamers around me. No. You can't stop doing research, but it's not something that gamers or YouTubers should ever do. Research should be the #1 thing that you do as a game developer. You want to know that you're not copying anyone. You want to know that you're not going to offend anybody. And that should have been your main goal. So research should be at the top of your point. So for you to literally misconstrued what a petition was set up for is literally against the basis of what you set up your account to do, which is help other game developers, help other gamers.
Rather than a red flag. However, even after getting called out by other streamers,
What the hell, man? Why not just apologize?
Like I said, huge pirate fan, love the content. This is not the look.
Thor did not budge, and even doubled down.
Wants me to sit down, grovel on my knees, and be like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Yamato. It was all my fault, the mage. I won't do it again. I'm so sorry that tank overpulled 2 packs and a boss. Oh man, oh god. Next time I'll save you from the big mean 2 packs and a boss.
It's just kind of funny that he's saying this in this act.
That tank pulled. Are you kidding me, dude?
This incident put his behavior into a completely different light. While this controversy faded away in a few weeks, it formed the first crack in Thor's impeccable online reputation, and it's only been downhill from there. But to fully understand the controversy that's killing Thor's career, we have to go back in time to the end of 2023. On December 14th, 2023, Ubisoft announced that it would be shutting down the servers for its multiplayer racing game called The Crew in April of 2024. However, unlike many other multiplayer games, where an internet connection is only needed for playing against others online.
Man, I knew this was gonna get brought up. But if they sunset The Crew 2, oh, I'm crashing out, bro. Who created this game? Was it Ubisoft? Oh my god, I'm crashing. I'm crashing out. Whoever set up this game, if you sunset The Crew 2 and I can't drive around and I lose all my vehicles and my money and my character, I'm crashing out on you. It's not a warning. It's a threat.
The crew required players to be online at all times. In other words, Ubisoft shutting down the servers meant that players would no longer be able to access the game they paid for. This also meant losing access to the game's single-player campaign, which should have been fully offline. This sparked intense online backlash, as players felt like they were being robbed of the game they paid for with their hard-earned money. What made the situation even worse was that this wasn't the first game to shut down like this, and it was clear it wouldn't be the last. So to fight back against greedy publishers, Ross from Accursed Farms spent months creating a potential solution.
But now we have a new option, proposing new law, and for the entire European Union. It took months to get put together and processed, but now we have a European Citizens Initiative devoted to halting the destruction of video games. You can read it yourself. This would require publishers to leave games they have sold to customers in a working state at the time of shutdown, without requiring any further connection to them or affiliated parties for the games to function.
This solution took the
As it should be. I'm not gonna hold you. If you have a game that you have spent money on, okay, you bought it, or it was free and you spent money on it, you should at least be able to play like the offline version of such game, okay? Now, games like Fortnite, I'm really trying to think what I want. Like, if they sunset Fortnite, which I don't think will ever happen, but if they sunset it, how would they... Because they did have Save the World, right? Save the World. If you never heard of Save the World, I don't know many people that have, but they had like an offline, different version where you just collected certain things back in the day. I don't know where it is now. I used to play that, and then it used to give me like, whatever, V-Bucks to play the game. Maybe that. I'm going on a tangent, my bad.
Form of a petition, which, unlike the largely useless change.org petitions, had actual legal weight. If this petition reached 1 million signatures, lawmakers in the EU were legally required to discuss the matter in an official setting, and if passed,
And happily, spoiler alert, it has reached that many. I think it has gone over that, actually.
YouTubers, streamers, etc. about this initiative, and maybe they'll pick it up. Now, I'm offering myself for interviews, publicity on this issue, whatever, to almost anyone with a European audience of some size.
and that's where Thor entered the picture. He came across the Stop Killing Games initiative in August of 2024. Now, given his history of speaking in favor of the gamers and developers, and against greedy publishers, people naturally expected him to throw his full support behind the campaign. However, this couldn't have been further from the truth.
Now, this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is it's Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
Not only did he dislike the idea of Stop Killing Games, his choice of words was harsh to say the least.
That is awful. That is a horrible direction. That's awful, dude. Now, eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This sucks. That's a really stupid move. That's an incredibly stupid move. I think this is complete garbage. All of this can eat then. I drop the mask entirely.
The whole thing.
If you try to tell me that every studio needs to run their live service game indefinitely or not want to run one at all, then no one's going to run them.
Oh no! He wheeled out that line about publishers having to support the game forever. He was literally watching the video earlier where it says it won't do that in big letters. That wasn't enough. We just can't stop gamers from going there, even when we spell it out.
And Ross was
So, please explain, this guy who has worked for the government cannot read and was instantly triggered, and I have been asking myself why. Why were you so easily triggered by this? If you had a bad opinion of it, don't speak on it.
having none of it.
This part hurts. To see the biggest voice on this issue get it wrong again and again and again, then put that same wrong information on blast to a far bigger audience than we can reach. It hurts. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand what we're asking for.
He even called out the clear contradiction Thor made in his own argument just seconds apart.
I think live service games getting sunsetted is fine. I've always thought that. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
There's everything wrong with that, bud. There's everything wrong with that. Quite literally, you spend money on a game. Let's say you, the viewer, you spent money on a game, right? And then 5 years down the line, you still play this game, and you still enjoy this game, but they yet again sunset your game so you can never play it again. You have a dead file, dead disc that you can never play again. All that money, wasted.
It's incredibly important to me that we keep making games and that the next generation has the tools to do so that our medium doesn't die out. And it never will. And that's the whole intention of all of this.
So he doesn't want games to die out, except he's fine with that.
Except he's fine with games just dying. He doesn't want gaming to die out, but he's fine with games dying. He wants the future generation to have the tools, but how are they supposed to have the tools without the games that just died? I mean, don't you want them to be able to play the game? Am I confused here?
I think there's some cognitive dissonance going on there.
This video showed that Thor's distaste for the Stop Killing Games initiative is based on complete misinterpretations, which in turn called his credibility as an experienced and knowledgeable developer in question. However, before Thor had even a chance to respond, Ross's new video reached the one man who could bring this issue to a mainstream audience, Charlie.
And there is an initiative that has been aiming to fight back against a lot of these practices that I think really need some big overhaul. Stop destroying things that people have paid money to own. I think that is a very understandable, very reasonable take, very agreeable.
And he called out Thor's incorrect interpretation of the initiative as well.
He didn't even get the Cliff Notes summary right.
He could have simply been honest and admitted that he was stepping away to prevent any backlash from hitting the studio, which had nothing to do with his personal opinions, but his ego wouldn't let him. Instead, he chose to lie and ended up getting caught red-handed. That said, all the hate towards Thor did have the positive effect of making the Stop Killing Games movement go viral. This has resulted in it not only reaching its goal within days, but shooting past it with over 200,000 more at the time of writing. Thor, however, still cannot admit defeat. After the petition reached its goal, he made a tweet that contained a mixture of denial and boasting at the same time, stating, "The most interesting narrative is that my video somehow killed the initiative. This graph showed that the initiative already had a downward trend in interest when my videos dropped. My videos do not seem to have had any impact on the movement at all."
I'm getting sick of this liar. It's time to get off this video. God, what can I say about Mr. Pirate Software? Forgot his real name. Don't really care. Don't care to know. As a game developer, you are literally hindering the people you are supposed to care about the most. Your fans, which are gamers. Okay? You are letting the gamers down. You're letting everybody down because, oh, I run a game company. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Oh. No, bud. No, that's just you being goofy. You're a goofy. This is what you look like to me. Goofy. Yes, you look like a goofball. And I'm getting sick and tired of people who claim to support something literally choosing the opposite side of an argument and showing their true colors, bud. You have to stay in your script. I'm sick of people getting off the script. The most hated video on my platform is of Joey Swole getting off script. Literally, on my analytics page, it says like 18% like this. The other percent hated that video. I don't care, like, because Joey Swole got off script. This guy Pirate Software got off script. Can we just stay on script, guys? Stop. Gain some humble. Leave the trash in the past. And apologize. It seems so difficult to say sorry. It's easy as that. Now, we've reached the end of the video. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for staying till the end. And